Paul George versus Carmelo Anthony, scoring bag / Arsenal Shaq.
This is the bag, not the ability.
What? Come on, bro.
Scoring bag. Scoring bag.
Well, no, dog. There's a difference.
It's not even hard.
From what I understand, I'm going Melo.
Am I next?
Yeah.
Scoring bag?
Melo.
Yeah.
PG.
PG.
Hold on, Dub. Who did you say?
Melo.
Playmaking.
Paul George.
It's me?
No, it's Dub.
All right, PG.
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 Defense.
PG.
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 Finishing. I could see where this is going.
Carmelo.
Melo.
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 Mid-range.
Melo.
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 3-point shot.
Carmelo.
Melo.
PG.
Melo.
Handles.
PG.
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 Rebounding.
Melo.
Melo. Oh, sorry,
Melo.
my bad.
Yeah,
Melo.
Get the fuck out of here.
Shaq, go ahead and start with Shaq.
Melo. Melo.
Melo.
Melo.
Melo.
Clutch Gene.
Melo.
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 Playoffs.
Hmm.
Damn, this is tough. Damn. Oh, I mean, one still. Damn. Melo.
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 I just so happened to peek over at the chat just to like see what everyone was saying, and out of nowhere, someone said Darius Garland.
I would like to switch my pick for playmaking. I'm picking Melo.
Damn, that's not gonna make it.
It's not. Should make it because
That's going way back.
Yeah, I'm mad as hell because I couldn't remember like the averages and everything. Playmaking it's Melo, bro.
Yo, Shaq, why did you say Melo for scoring bag Arsenal when PG clearly is much more versatile in terms of like, you know, he like in the open court, that's a major area where he gets his points off too.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of like Paul George, like he do got the moves, like he's good at setting up. But I mean, if you just give the ball to Carmelo on the block or at the hash, or even at the 45,
he does one thing and he does it well. Yeah, that's not. But
footwork. That's a deep bag because how many players have footwork in the history of the NBA?
Yo, that's nasty that you're saying he does one thing. He has
no. Okay, like I'm over exaggerating, but you get what I'm saying. It's like what Shaq said.
I can see how that could go on the block. I do.
He's on the block and he just operates out of that block. Now, what he can do on that block is next to none. You know what I'm saying? But there's more things that
he has pull up, pump fakes. He got a lot. He can shoot over you.
To me, that's all like that mid post bag. That's all falls under that same.
But when
category.
I think of Paul George, I say, yeah, you got a lot of dribbles, but Paul George, you don't even have to do all those dribbles to get to your shot.
Melo don't have to do all that pump faking and jabbing either.
That's not true. That's not true. Yeah. That's simply not true because what he's doing,
as wide as he is,
it's anticipation. The word of the year, anticipation. He's pumping
yes,
them.
Sir.
He gotta get them off of their balance one step pull up. And same with Paul George with his dribbling. But I mean, okay. Does Paul George have a post bag?
Hell no. nowhere near Melo.
Well, not comparable to Melo, but he's not.
Of course not.
slouch.
That's what I'm
He'll get
saying.
down
Like
there,
Melo's
pump
next to
fake on
none.
his pivot.
What I'm saying is, like, do you think Paul George has some sort of a post game?
I do think when he gets down there, he gets stuck on his pivot. He can get out of the situation 100%.
Okay, so that's in his bag.
And if he has a smaller guard, it's more like bullying, aggressive.
But that's part of the bag, though, because LeBron, that's his bag, playing bully ball. You know what I mean? And we give him credit for that. So if Paul George can do it to a smaller defender, anybody can do it to a smaller defender. That's to their credit. All I'm saying is Paul George, offensively, his bag, how many weapons does he bring to the offensive side of the ball? I think he brings more. The bag is deeper than Melo's. Does Melo do offensively? What he does, is it more efficient than what Paul George does?
His pivots are better.
100%.
His jabs are better. His pivots are better. His jabs are better. His one dribble scoring is better.
Yes.
Those are all better or just as good as Paul George's with the one dribble. Now,
but that's outside of just one scenario. That's
was
all
the
out
question,
of one scenario.
Was the question deeper bag or was
but
it?
Out of crossing, I mean, deeper.
The question is scoring bag / Arsenal. And Arsenal means,
okay,
how many different weapons do you have?
Post, he has three-point shot, he has mid-range. He has all three of those, and he has a finishing package at the hoop.
As does PG, and he has open court.
Facts, Shaq. People want to forget about the Denver.
I mean, Melo has open court too.
Not like PG, because Melo will have open court and pull up from three, and PG can do that too. But PG can also finish at the rim.
I just want to ask, was I missing something with this Melo 3-point? Because I was the only one that said it was PG.
No, because the reason I don't hold it against Melo because he came up in an era to where the efficiency wasn't like now it is. Like nowadays, efficiency is everything. You shoot 40, whoop-de-woo, boom, boom. Back in the day, Melo, you could just hoist up anything. So that's the only reason I'm just like, from a 3-point range, I'm taking Melo over Paul George, especially in big moments. Or am I missing something there?
I don't know how many PG shoots, but I think he's shooting like 8 a game, and I know he makes.
Yeah, I mean, but this is an era where they shoot 8 a game now, because if you go back in Carmelo, back in his era, was not frowned upon, but it just wasn't as frequent. It was him, Dirk, and who else that's just pulling trips.
But can we hold that against PG as a shooter?
No, I don't. I 100% don't hold that, because right now in this era, everybody shoots. So then we're saying everybody that shoots over 40 is a better 3-point shooter than what Carmelo Anthony was. That's dangerous territory.
It depends on the difficulty of the shots, because it's not like PG's just catching and shooting like he's Duncan Robinson or Seth Curry. He's taking off the dribble threes, contested step backs.
And Melo was doing all of that and some as well. But what is Melo's 3-point
percentage? But we're not diminishing just because we give, we say Paul George is doing that doesn't mean we say that he's doing it like that Melo is not doing it.
No, I'm not. Yeah,
Melo we're acknowledging Melo, and Melo is doing it offensively. Melo is doing the better job than PG. Period. But what I'm saying is, go ahead.
In Melo's best year, granted he was shooting 6. He shot 6 attempts in 2012, 2013. He shot 38%. He shot 5.5 in 14. He shot 40%. I mean, it's like in 2021 with Portland, he almost shot 5. It was still at 40%. I mean, I get what it could go. No, because I'm saying it could go either. Are we not including percentages? Because if you're saying that they were shooting more, if Carmelo was shooting more, I'm pretty sure that the clip would have stayed the same. Correct or no? Just because it was, is that what we're saying?
No, it could have.
Just because Carmelo wasn't.
I was just throwing off because I wouldn't say I thought it was PG easily. I was just throwing off that you guys said Melo so quick. Like I thought I missed something.
The same way you feel about that is the same way I feel about the scoring back, because I can't be convinced that Paul George, like I see what Euro's saying 100%.
You play against play against players that may not be as versatile as you offensively, but they are more efficient than you offensively. Yes or no?
Yeah, 1,000%. But when I see some bigs, when I'm sitting on the bench during games and I see any big with footwork, I'm like, oh, his bag is deep, because he has this pump fake, pivot, turnaround fake, come back to the pivot and score. That's the same as crossover behind the back.
You laid out the categories. You said 3, mid-range, and post.
1,000%, but it's the same as Paul George, crossing.
Score than Melo?
Jack, speaking of big men that you play against, without saying anything, there is a big man in your league who is a phony.
Are you saying that Paul George is more efficient than Melo?
I'll text you on the side.
Say what?
Very phony.
Saying Paul George is a more efficient scorer than Melo?
No.
Oh, okay.
And
what's the conversation?
Gerb just said,
if
I'm
he
saying
goes
there's
through
nothing
his
more to the game
Rolodex
than
of,
scoring.
you know what, this is what I'm gonna hit my defender with. He has
I want to hear it.
He has more options.
I want to hear it. I want to hear all the options.
I think Melo,
I only have to give you one that Melo doesn't have. He can outrun on a defensive rebound. He can outrun his defender and finish before anybody else. And Melo can't do that. That's offensive bag.
Bro, but that's not like he's getting that. How many times a game is he doing that? Like, I get it. He's going down and he's playmaking. Like, that's cool, but that's not.
He can do it the one time it matters.
When?
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now you're trying to slip. No, listen. You're trying to slip back into the argument of me saying that Paul George is better offensively than Melo. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. No, you're saying. So how is him grabbing a rebound and running nothing, just running down the court, which I've seen Carmelo do plenty of times in his career? Does he do it better than Paul George? Is the question.
Does he?
Yes or no? So. All right. I don't think so. So that's what Paul George got over him. Out of everything that Carmelo does, Paul George also does that.
So are you trying to tell me how far off is it, Euro? Because you're telling me that
it's
Carmelo
not far.
cannot.
It's not far.
Okay, but you're telling me he doesn't have the wherewithal to take a basketball, dribble it up the court, and score on the other lane without anything. Now, this is where it gets stuck. Carmelo's not going down and trying to look for somebody. He's not going down and passing out of it, but that's not a scoring bag. But Carmelo 1000% can go coast to coast easily. Just as easy as Paul George.
Anybody in the NBA can do that. What I'm saying is, like,
exactly. Does he have the bag?
Because he doesn't do that on a regular basis. Paul George does that. That's part of his game.
That was the time and the era in which they played in, Riro. They was playing in a
Even if so, you guys are lying to me if you say that Paul George has a post game. Let's just, because now I was waiting for this one, for you guys to say that Paul George has a post game. That's a lie. Paul George does not have a post game.
If he goes
down there. No, I'm telling you
that he doesn't have a post game. And then you said, okay,
no. What I said was, if he gets stuck on his pivot, I said if he dribbles in and he gets stuck, he can get out of that. He can, off the pivot.
And but you also said that he can bully somebody.
Yes, of course. That's all I think of. When I think of Paul George in the post, I just think boom, boom, pump fake. Okay, but that bag ends there. It's not even close to Carmelo's post game bag. It's not even close. It's like an 8 to an F.
And who was comparing that? Not me.
I'm letting you know. So no, that makes up for Paul George's fast break antics that he's so good at, just taking the ball, running up the court, and fitting. Like that is just like a cherry on top, a cheap cherry. Like, I don't even count that. Some people don't even like that cherry. That's why.
And so now we're back. And now we're back on efficiency. What does you talking about? You talking about Melo doing it better than PG? I'm not talking about who's doing it better. I'm talking about how many more weapons. We're talking arsenal. The topic is scoring back / arsenal. And arsenal is how many weapons do you have?
How many weapons does Paul George have?
He has more than Carmelo. Does he do it better than Carmelo? No. Melo doesn't have to have as many.
What are the weapons?
I just said open court. We can be stuck on that because you're not acknowledging it.
What type of weapon is the open court? Is that a little pocket knife? What is it? Or is it like a bazooka? Or is it a machine gun? I'm just trying to figure out.
And now if you trying to like measure it or whatever, that's the efficiency part. We're not talking about that. Why do you keep slipping back into that? I'm letting you know that Paul George has more in his pocket than Carmelo does.
I think
he has a bunch of dribbles.
PG's doing more of the dribble than Melo as well.
And Melo don't have dribbles?
And Melo's doing more without the dribbles.
Okay. Yeah. Now we're back into the efficiency. Easily. He's more effective with what he does.
Of course. Nobody was talking about efficiencies. You said
you keep slipping back into it.
Nobody's talking about it. I never once brought up efficiency. I brought up the moves that I brought up the moves that Carmelo can do. And I think he has more moves than Paul George. That's all that I'm saying. Paul George has a between the legs, he has a between the front, and he has a behind the back. That's all he has. All for the dribble. That's all he has. That's all he has. So that's why this is so nasty. But if you give the ball to Carmelo,
you are taking this discussion somewhere else. I'm not there.
No,
with you.
I feel like
you are by yourself. You are by yourself. No, I'm sticking to what was said. What's on the dock. Right. I'm sticking to what's on the dock. Scoring back / arsenal.
Right. You can say whatever you want. I feel like Carmelo,
not who's better, none of that.
You've yet to say anything about his scoring back other than dribbling.
You mentioned the open court. You mentioned the handles, but that was a whole completely separate topic, and we all said Paul George. So it's like, look at the 3 levels of scoring. We all said mid-range. We all said finishing. 3-point, I guess you could give it to either or. Post game is Melo. ISO scoring's Melo. It's like on all aspects of the court, I'm giving the ball to Melo on all aspects. The only thing I've heard from you is handle and open court.
No,
that's it.
Dub, you are on Shaq's side. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? You understand where he's coming from.
He said it first.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Before we heard your answer, we both said,
bro, I agree. I agree with y'all when y'all say, dog, Melo can do all of these things better than PG. I never said that PG is doing it better than Melo. I never said PG was better in the post than Melo. I never said these things. We can go back and see, dog. Everybody went down the line. We pretty much agreed on everything out of all of those 10 things when we were rattling off the names. I said the same thing that y'all said. So y'all know that I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about.
Open court.
I think what's happening.
What outside of handles in open court? What else is in the bag?
And Melo has handles, and Melo has open.
But I think what's happening is Euro is saying PG's bag is deeper. What you guys are saying is Melo's bag is stronger, for example.
But Melo has an open court, and Melo has handles.
I don't understand what's not deep about Carmelo Anthony's bag.
So all that's happening is Euro is saying Melo has the things he has in his game are more refined, is what Euro is saying. I think I don't want to put words in his mouth.
All right.
I think he has more. I think he has a better arsenal, and I think his arsenal is also deeper. I feel like Carmelo Anthony, he is way more versatile than Paul George in scoring. That's what I'm saying. So if that's not deeper bag, I don't know what is.